Hello, and welcome back to the International Economics course. So our 10th theme has been the financial globalization. So I added one more video lesson regarding cryptocurrencies, which is a truly global phenomenon, and I think it's also of current interest. So here is the price development of Bitcoin relative to Euro. So there are, of course, dozens of different cryptocurrencies nowadays, and new ones are being introduced all the time. But Bitcoin was the first one, and has enjoyed some early advantages over other alternatives. So we can see from this chart that the value of Bitcoin has been relatively volatile, but there has been also some growth, at least in recent a year or two. So I don't go to a lot of details about the blockchain technology. So as the name suggests, the cryptocurrencies originated from the area of cryptography. So cryptography provides this kind of technology that allows this system to be maintained through in a distributed way. So there's not any central authority that is governing the cryptocurrency. So this is not something that, for example, a central bank is controlling. So it's entirely distributed over the internet. So the system needs to have some credible way of keeping track of these currency units and who owns these units. So in that sense, it's kind of a software based on software development, and it needs to be also such that not anybody can just not some hacker can add these currencies. And this is where this cryptography comes into play. So, at least in some systems, such as Bitcoin, new currency units can be created, and this is called this mining. That, of course, takes a lot of energy. For example, of course, it requires computational resources. And indeed, this system requires very heavy cryptography to keep track of the ownership, and then also making transactions between users. So this is this kind of basically that it's a software innovation based on this so-called blockchain technology. But then a question that often arises that is cryptocurrency really money? How should we think about it? So on this slide, I have three basic conditions that money should satisfy. It should be widely accepted means of payment. It should be a store of value and a credible unit of account. So we can ask, are cryptocurrencies, can they be used for buying and selling things? Does it maintain its purchasing power over time? And is it a common way of measuring the value of goods and services? So potentially, all of these questions could be answered yes, but at least as yet, the answer is probably no. So I found this kind of table from the Reserve Bank of Australia that compares features of cryptocurrency and CBDC. So CBDC is central bank issued digital currency. So if we go look at first this column about cryptocurrencies, so as a means of payment, cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin are accepted by a relatively small number of retailers currently. Of course, this could potentially change in the future, but at least for now. As a store of value, I showed you this price chart to begin with. So Bitcoin and also other cryptocurrencies tend to be very, very volatile. So then unit of account. So these currencies have their own account, but typically we don't measure value yet in Bitcoins or some other currencies. So, for example, how much would be a price of coffee in a cafe or lunch in a canteen, you cannot say immediately, at least, what is it in bitcoins. So the main important feature is that indeed the governance relies on basically the users believe that it's valuable. There's not any kind of centralized authority such as central bank governing this kind of currencies. So then this of course this cryptocurrencies arose completely from the private innovators. But of course, the legal status and regulation affects the potential use and spreading of this kind of cryptocurrencies. So relatively recently, in 2021, El Salvador became the first country to accept Bitcoin as a legal tender. And in the same year, Cuba followed to recognize and regulate cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin. So from the legal point of view, it is mainly these Caribbean countries have been mostly willing to accept and regulate cryptocurrencies. And I believe also that the central banks in that area have been also leaders of this kind of central bank digital currencies. In contrast, the government of China, which used to be the largest market for cryptocurrencies, China declared all cryptocurrency transactions illegal in 2021. So there has been somewhat mixed response from the governments. And I believe that it also depends on that what is the status of the central bank's currency. So I believe that by making cryptocurrencies illegal, the Chinese government wants to protect its own yuan, whereas in the Caribbean nations, which are really heavily reliant on the US dollar, then relying more on the Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies can actually help these countries to decrease the dependence on the US dollar and the policies of the Fed. So here in Finland, we do not have a strong regulation yet. The current status is that the tax authority does not really recognize virtual currencies as money. However, the profits from holding virtual currencies are subject to the capital gains tax. So notice that the tax authority cannot really track this kind of payments made in Bitcoins or other cryptocurrencies. So as long as these assets are held in cryptocurrencies, then there's no way that the tax authority can tax them. But because the user has to then exchange these cryptocurrencies to euros at some point in order to spend it, then at that point, then through the banking system, then the tax authority can get the information about these cryptocurrencies, and then these capital gains are subject to tax like of any asset. So in that sense, the cryptocurrency would be similar to some kind of like speculative assets, for example, compared to something like stocks investment. So very recently, regarding legal status, when Donald Trump started his second term as the U.S. president, so very early in January, he ordered the creation of a cryptocurrency working group tasked with proposing new digital asset regulations in the USA, and also exploring the creation of a national cryptocurrency stockpile. And Trump wants to be known as this kind of crypto president, so he was already campaigning already on quickly overhauling the U.S. Crypto policy. And his executive orders also then related to banking services, to protect the banking services for crypto companies. Yeah, and regarding this other potential line of creating or utilizing these blockchain technologies, Trump actually banned creation of the U.S. central bank issued digital currencies. So this of course adds much more credibility for the cryptocurrencies and development. So I come back to this issue a bit later when we talk about also the other issues. But in the next lesson, we then discuss the creation of euro currency and the monetary integration. So see you then. Bye bye.